Thank you for joining me today. I am here to talk about crazy crimes in Cambodia. I'm your host, the Maven, and it's Mumsy is in the house. Great to see you. Good morning to you where you are. Good evening here in Cambodia. Got a few stories for you. Things are kind of calming down on the border. At least they're staying calm. There's no fighting. The ceasefire is holding. Um, it- Although most of the news stories are related in some way to the border conflict or the evacuee camps, people, Cambodians returning to Cambodia, and the jobs that the Ministry of Labor is setting up for them. Fake news on both sides. That keeps going around, and that both governments are trying to stop fake news. Yeah, so I don't have any border conflict stories for you. Oh, a lot of international delegations. Hey, Gibbo is in the house. Okay, we can start now. Gibbo in the house. Yeah, lot of international delegations are visiting Cambodia. One thing that I'll say is actually quite nice is that after the Khmer Rouge happened and on that fiasco, tragedy, the world wasn't paying attention, and this time they are. So that's nice. Most of the international news outlets, especially at the beginning when the 5 days of fighting, everything was coming out of Thailand and from a Thai bias. And they certainly should have a voice as well to say whatever they want, but it should be balanced, right? And so I think things are starting to get a little bit more balanced. I think they got called out on it enough that they had to do something. So there is more recognition now of the Cambodian side. So that's good. That's good. All right. So let's get started, as Gibbo said. Our first story, and I wanted to start with this one because there are several arrest stories. And I don't know if any of the arrests tie back to this. So we'll start with this, and then we'll see if any of the arrests come back to it. All right. Mystery of a body found in the river, weighted down with a sandbag. So there are quite often bodies found in various rivers. Some are accidents, people drowning for some reason, people jumping off of bridges, or people that were dispatched and then thrown in the water. But rarely are they weighted down with sandbags. 30-kilogram sandbag, in fact. The body was discovered by residents at 6:30 a.m. July 23rd, just south of Phnom Penh. They say it's an unidentified male around 30 years old. He was wearing black jeans, short-sleeved black open-neck T-shirt. He was found floating in the water with both arms out of the water in a decomposed state. Not nice. And so there was a nylon bag filled with the sand. There was a white iron rod. Generally, when they say iron, they say any kind of metal they'll call iron. Sorry about that. I had to let one of the cats out. Yellow nylon rope that was tied to the sandbag and then around the body's waist. So I don't know what this black, that's a belt. There's a carabiner. None of that is what was just described. Well, there's the bag. Will they call that a nylon bag? Okay. So the fisherman that found the body said he had returned from fishing and was driving a small boat when he found the body floating in the water. As described above, he felt sorry, so he stopped the boat and tied a long blue rope to the left leg and then towed the body, back to the bank, intending to let the relatives of the deceased come and collect it. Well, reading enough Patricia Cornwell novels and stuff, I mean, they were saying that he was decomposed. She would take a lot more care. She's got Dr. Kay Scarpetta takes a lot of care when retrieving a body from water because it can pull apart. And not only do you have the weight of the body, but you have the weight of the sandbag. So they're lucky the body came in one piece. Could it be a natural death? And then the sandbags fell in. Well, when you're tied to it, I don't know why. Why would you tie yourself to a sandbag? Maybe because you were like fishing and you didn't want to go too far, and so you wanted the sandbag to keep you from drowning. No, I don't think so. So let's see. The body was swollen. Its eyes were sunken. Was wearing black cowboy boots that were still on. Black short sleeve t-shirt with an open neck and gray leotards. I think they mean the underwear because they said he was wearing black jeans, right? It had clenched teeth and a swollen face. Well, that's normal with being submerged in water. With blood coming out of its nostrils. Why didn't the water wash away blood? Therefore, the authorities concluded that the body died of murder and will continue to investigate. And they took it to the pagoda. So there's that. Next, we have 2 Cambodians arrested over the death of a Chinese man. Oh, now look at this picture. And then let me come back to this story and look at this picture. So see, they didn't say that he was Chinese in this story because they might not have known because, when you're in a state of decomposition, the whole Asian thing, it might be harder to tell between different ethnicities. So 2 Cambodians are arrested. Let's see what we get here. It says here they kidnapped the Chinese man wearing the cowboy boots. I was going to say Cambodians don't normally wear cowboy boots. So they kidnapped him at the Phnom Penh International Airport midnight on the 31st. A 43-year-old and a 38-year-old. Ooh, they're security guards at a Chinese casino in the province. So there was CCTV footage near the airport where, this guy was 24 years old. They said he was young. They could tell he was young. When police discovered, what? Are they using the same picture? See, this one says where the Chinese man's body was found. Police, because here it's saying not a fisherman, but police discovered the body near National Road 3. We concluded that it was a murder case and that the suspects had brought the body to dispose of it after killing him. But after investigation and confessions by the suspects, we understood it was a kidnapping. The victim had jumped out of their speeding car in order to escape. And according to confessions by the suspects, they and another Chinese man who was still at large were asked by three other Chinese men, their supervisors at the casino, to pick up the victim from the airport and drive him to the casino in the Bokor Mountain area. When the victim arrived, the Chinese man accompanying the suspects posed as his host and led him to sit inside a black car where the two suspects were waiting. While driving on National Road 3, they forcibly took his mobile phone and passport. The victim opened the car door and jumped out and died immediately because of a broken neck and other injuries. And then they just sped off. Well, this is not the correct picture then. Shame on you. Oh, they did give a lot of information, didn't they? They don't use our news story. Well, see, that's what I try to tell you too, that the Cambodian news usually gives all these kind of details, but then by the time the English editor edits the story, it's they just get the short stuff. But for some reason, they kept all the details in this one. Oh, Gibbo, thank you. Hit the like and share and subscribe. Okay, well, let's see what this one is. 5 arrested for imprisoning a Chinese national at a hotel in Phnom Penh. They're all in the 30s and 40s, 126. The victim was a 35-year-old Chinese male. And if you're Chinese, it's getting dangerous to come to Cambodia. Gives the room number and the guest house and everything. Por Senche district, that's like on the south side of Phnom Penh. It's not any kind of touristy area. So that's for sure. So, okay, that's all we got on that. So there was probably going to be a ransom, kidnapping for ransom. Most likely, it doesn't say that, but that's most common what happens. 7 men arrested over a couple's murder. And this is in Sihanoukville. I think this one. Although the killing of the couple, they threw the bodies into the same river where the sandbag victim was found. Let's see, they were arrested and charged in Sihanoukville. The husband and wife allegedly were tortured and beaten to death, and their bodies were thrown into the river. Again, they're like in their 30s and 40s. The Chinese, these 7 Chinese, they're all employees of a Chinese-owned casino in Sihanoukville. They're charged with premeditated murder. Yeah, here we have the intent of extortion. See, that's usually what happens. So the couple were brought by car from Sihanoukville to a rented villa in Kandal province, near the Cambodian-Vietnam border. After they received an amount of money from the victim's relatives, they killed the couple to destroy the evidence. That's really sad. That's really sad. After killing them, they brought their bodies by car at night to throw into the river. And they were found floating by a villager. So, but at least they got caught. Hey, Cambodia is doing a good job cracking. Stay away from that river. They don't like the Chinese, do they? Yeah, well, and a lot of it is Chinese on Chinese. Like this was Chinese on Chinese. And the other ones, the 2 Cambodians that were arrested, were actually working for Chinese who were kidnapping a Chinese. But they were like low men on the totem pole. Okay, I think this is one or two more. So, is this the same 7? No, this is 3. Oh, maybe they arrested 3 and then another. Let's see. Sihanoukville. I think this is the same one, but they had only arrested 3 of the people. And now it's up to a total of 7. They arrested 4 more. Okay. And so I have not seen an update. This was July 31st. I have not, this manhunt for a duo who broke out of jail, if they were caught, it has not been reported in the Khmer Times, at least. But let's see if we have any details about how they broke out of their cell and escaped out of the Kampong Speu provincial prison. That around 2 a.m. on Sunday, they escaped their cell and fled while the guards were asleep. A 24-year-old who's accused of murder and a 36-year-old who was charged with breach of trust. They had been arrested and jailed in April. So April, May, June, July. So they'd been there 3 months. Pending their trial. And so, of course, now they have a new charge of escaping from jail, which that alone carries up to 2 years if you're convicted. The deputy director of the provincial police said that they're still at large as of the 31st, but there was a manhunt to catch them. Our provincial police forces went to inspect their houses as well as their relatives' houses in their villages, but did not see them. So we suspect that they are hiding in other provinces. That's a good presumption. I wonder why. Now this picture just says it's a file picture of inmates undergoing an audit at that particular prison where these two had escaped. But if there's a manhunt going on, don't you want to share pictures of the guys? So if anybody has seen them, you know, be on the lookout. That's weird. Okay. So now we're done with the police stories. Well, almost. I mean, like arrests like that. Now this one, there's a mentally disabled youth was arrested for attacking a 9-year-old girl. His face is blocked out. They say they're using the term intellectual disabilities. They say the incident occurred at 3:30 p.m. in the afternoon. Tok Mao City, okay, that's south of Phnom Penh. It's kind of near the new airport. I was just in Tok Mao today when I was tutoring. So he's 22 years old. Whatever a level 3 intellectual disability is, that's what it says on his identity card, I guess. The incident was discovered after the victim's mother saw her child was very pale and had blood dripping from her pants. You know, she immediately brought the child to file a complaint with the police. Wouldn't you immediately want to go to the hospital and have the police meet you there? But hey, at least they did something. At least they reported it. Again, give them credit for that, okay? But you can kind of see the level of common sense in the general population. They got a ways to go. War really sets back a population. So it says the victim and her sister were riding bicycles to visit the pagoda when they encountered the suspect. The victim did not immediately tell anyone until her mother asked her about it. And then the suspect pleaded guilty, and he's being detained at the police station. So good outcome that there's going to be some justice. Still very tragic. Next up, a woman was injured after a Rolls Royce jumps a red light. So there's the Rolls Royce. There's so many like $1 million cars. It's crazy. $500,000, $1 million. It's really crazy. So driven by a foreign national, maybe Chinese. I'm sure it'll tell us. Happened at 1:20 a.m. on Preah Nord on Makang Road. It's Norodom. Why is it McCang? It's on Norodom Boulevard in Street 110. Okay. I go up and down this street all the time. Totally recognize this optics store. I think I've bought glasses there before. Chinese man driving this black Rolls Royce drove through the red light at high speed, collided with two women who were on a Scoopy moto. That would be like a scooter, but the name of it's a Scoopy. They were injured and immediately taken to the hospital. The car owner paid $2,000 to the motorcycle owner to end the case. Well, that's true. And I mean, sometimes justice is just about, you know, paying restitution. So why should you go through the cost of going to a judge and having a trial and do the whatever, have a court case and spend all that time and everything to have a judge order that you have to pay $2,000 when you can just handle it on the spot? Quite frankly, I don't have a problem with justice being handled out being handled like this. I think it works. It's swift. Sister should have gone for help. Yes, that is a very good point, Mumsy. The sister should have run. I don't know where the sister went. The sister's not mentioned except for that she was riding bicycles. Now this is a sad end. There were other stories when this young woman went missing, that there was searching for her. And this is like the final story. So this French woman literally hitchhiked from France to Phnom Penh. She went overland and was going to run at the Anchor half marathon, which I think was canceled because of the border conflict. I don't know if they rescheduled it yet. But that was her intention of arriving to run the marathon as part of a charity for this organization right here, which is a very legitimate, good. It's a friend. It's kind of led by French. That's why PSE is like pour. I don't know if it lists. There it is. Pour une soirée d'enfant, and so that means like pour is for the something children. Okay. It's a very popular charity. So she decided to go out for a run one morning around the temples. And that's the last anyone saw of her. She went, so was she kidnapped, whatever? Well, it turns out that she apparently collapsed. She was found dead in the forested area. Now, all the area around the temples is forested. But she was near an old temple outside of Siem Reap City. She had last been seen around 7:20 a.m. And then according to the post-mortem report, she died of overexertion from running a long distance. That was my gut feeling when I heard the story that she was missing. I mean, she's probably collapsed on the side of the road, because there's been times when I've been out in the heat and believe me, it's the last 3 or 4 days have been like super hot. It's very unusually hot for this time of year. Yeah. So her body was handed over to the French embassy. There's a police probe. There's going to be just a short investigation. So it's very sad that this young woman who loved Cambodia and loved the children of Cambodia and wanted to raise money for them by this trip and running the marathon, tragically passed away. Remember a couple of weeks ago, we had a story about somebody who was collapsing at Angkor Wat, but they were able to receive medical attention, and so they're okay. Let's see what you guys are saying. Nothing. Okay. Next up, we have Miss Grand International strips Pic Voti Saravodi of her title for ethical violations. Now, I only saw the headline. We'll find out together. Find out together. That's Baby Wilbur, if you don't know. Exactly what she did that was an ethical violation. But first, let me say that, beauty contests are quite a big thing right now. When I first moved here, they were actually banned. But now it's like there are, of course, we know Miss America and Miss Universe or whatever. But there are so many. I mean, they're a very easy way to make money because everybody that is entering as part of the contest has to pay a fee, and they can get sponsors to sponsor the cost. But so all the participants have paid money, and then you get all kinds of advertising money. I mean, it's a real easy event to organize in a sense to make money. So there's like so many of these, and of course they try to say it's not beauty, it's it's cultural or whatever, but yeah, it's still a beauty contest. So what did she do? She was the 5th runner-up of 2022. And she's been accused of disseminating false information and making defamatory public statements against the organization after she showed support for Cambodia in a series of social media posts and videos amid the ongoing border tension between Cambodia and Thailand. Ooh, because the organization that does Miss Grand Cambodia is a Thai organization. Aha. So she spoke out against them for being Thai. Baby, will you stop it? My goodness. Well, she's doing that because she wants my attention. But she wants my attention for TUNA, and I'm not giving her any right. She already had some. She's fine. Wow. Effective immediately, she is no longer entitled to hold, claim, or associate herself with the title in any form. She's been instructed to remove all references to her former status from her social media platforms within 2 days, including images and videos displaying the, was it Miss Grand International? Yeah, Miss Grand International, baby. Crown, sash, logo, or any kind of affiliations with other title holders. Wow. And then she criticizes the decision. This is reveal the true colors behind MGI, a platform that has shown discrimination instead of dignity. This is a clear contrast to what real pageant should be, one that uplifts, empowers, and unites. Interesting. So next up, Cambodia imposes temporary ban on drones along the border provinces amid sovereignty concerns. I thought I would go ahead and throw this one in here because a lot of people like to use drones. And so you should be aware that there is a ban on drones near the border. It's a 15-day ban, so it's not forever. It's just for 15 days, which includes Odor Menche, Priya Vihir, Bante Menche, Battambang, Palin, Persat, Kokong, Siem Reap, and Kampong Tom, but only in areas that are considered strategic due to their proximity to the contested border zones. Okay, so if you're using a drone in Siem Reap over Pub Street, or I'm sure there are rules about Angkor Wat itself. You might need to get some kind of permit. But anyway, there you go. If you're near the border zone, they are banned. Okay, next up we have Cambodian students urge Thais to stop harassment. So here are 21 Cambodians who were studying in Surin province, that's in Thailand, just on the other side of the border, who have returned to Cambodia after giving up their scholarships in Thailand. And so apparently they're saying that they faced intimidation and threats across the border when they were in Thailand. So they said they have concerns for their safety amid the ongoing border tensions. So they can't study. It affects their ability to study. So they're living in fear, anxiety, and insecurity. That once everything escalated, they started facing discrimination and harassment. Groups of Thai people frequently demanded that the Cambodian students show them their faces, actions she described as threatening or discriminatory, leading many students to remain confined to their dormitories out of fear. Yeah. Says that this person says that even the teachers and students were discriminating against them. But the Thai teachers and the students were discriminating, but the foreign teachers were not. So they were fearing for their personal safety, and they're coming back. And other people are echoing the similar concerns. So there's that. Next up, we have a new case of bird flu. Last week or the week before, there was a new case. I didn't mention it. I think it was 2 weeks ago. And so let's see who got it this time. A 26-year-old man in Siem Reap province. He's receiving intensive medical care for his bird flu. Says he had contact with the poultry that he had killed and prepared chickens 3 days before falling ill. Dead chickens were also found near his residence. And they are trying to identify the source of the infection in both animals and humans so that they can trace the contact and prevent any further transmission. It's called Tamiflu. Tamiflu must be a type of medicine. It's been distributed to his close contacts, and health education campaigns are being carried out. So there's that. Doesn't say what I think it's number 15 or 16. Doesn't give us the number this time, but the last story I think was number 15. Our last story of the day: Tabang Kamam governor directs authorities to prepare appropriate safe areas to evacuate residents during severe flooding. So I thought this is really nice. I wanted to end on a nice note. A disaster has not happened yet, but if there was to be some severe flooding, they're going to have a plan of where the higher ground is so that they can evacuate people. This is in response to rising water levels in the Mekong River. So there's not a flood yet, but we're still in the middle of rainy season. So just in case, it's always best to be prepared. They're developing intervention plans and designating appropriate safe locations of where people can be evacuated to, as well as raising public awareness, so that if they're in a vulnerable area, they can be ready. All right. So that's that. That's it for tonight. So a cute little Thai story I can give you. I went to buy some silk like Cambodian silk to have a particular vest made to wear on my trip coming up. And the tailor, I went to the tailor first and asked her if she wanted to get it or if she wanted me to get it. She said, no, you go get it. I said, well, how much, she told me how much fabric I needed to get. Yeah, it was a good one. So she told me how much fabric I needed to get. So, and I said, well, how much should it cost? And she said, $25. I said, okay. So Chani and I went to the market where there's, people that sell fabric. And we found one that I liked that would be suitable. And I asked the lady how much, and she told me $13. And I'm like, of course, it's all in Khmer, right? But I'm relaying the story in English. I'm like, oh, okay, that's good. Yeah, I want it. And, scanned the QR code to pay her the $13. And as she's putting it in the bag, because I'm thinking to myself, why is it so much cheaper? There's got to be a reason it's so much cheaper. I mean, it felt like silk. It wasn't fake. It wasn't fake. And then I had this idea, and I asked her. I said, "Is it Khmer silk or Thai silk?" And she just went and didn't answer me. She was like busted, right? And she didn't want to lose the sale because she thought that I want Khmer silk, and with all the border tensions and stuff like that, people are boycotting Thai products. And so since it was a Thai silk, she'd lose the sale. So she just didn't say anything. And I don't care. Okay. It doesn't matter. It's not like I'm wearing this to the royal palace and I want to be pure Khmer and this and that or something. No, I mean, it's a vest for me to wear on my trip, and if it's Thai silk, does anybody in America care if it's Thai or Khmer? No. And it's, hey, what was that, like 25 minus 13? $5 to 20 plus 7. 5 plus 7 is 12, right? I saved $12. So I'm like, okay, thank you. I was happy. And I took it. So Chani and I went back to the tailor and gave her the fabric so she could make the vest. And I asked her, I said, is that Khmer silk or Thai silk? She says, and she's just, because she knows, right? Oh, no, this is Thai. I said, yeah. Yeah. And I told Chani, I said, see, I said, I'm chalat. That means I'm clever. I'm smart. I knew, which is, it's absolutely fine. So of course I'll be showing you guys all when it's done. But there's a cute little story for you. Oh, baby wants to go, and she wants to go outside, which is better than TUNA because she already had that. Here she comes. Okay, so tomorrow we'll do some trivia. I don't know if I will make an original one for general trivia. Maybe I will. If I don't, I'll find something fun for us to play. So we will have a game night tomorrow, same bat time, same bat channel. Before you go, do not forget that love transcends time and space. So wherever and whenever you're watching this, I love you. Those aren't just words I repeat. That's real. I love you. Okay. All right. So until tomorrow night, catch you later.